And thank each of you for being here. Mr. Escaya, I want to, I've got a question that's kind of unrelated to the subpoena from February 17th. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know what y'all do, but, you know, I kind of want to base my opinions on my personal experiences. So I want to share a personal experience with you that I had with Secretary Burwell that happened right here in this room in a hearing on March 22nd. On a hearing on March 20, or excuse me, the hearing was before March 22nd. I sent a letter to her on March 22nd. Now, we had a hearing here with Secretary Burwell. During that hearing, I asked her about office use compounding of prescription medication, okay? She, at that time, told me erroneously that it was allowed, okay? And I knew it was wrong. But she, and I cannot tell you whether she did it intentionally or not. I know that y'all take oaths, and the only thing we can do on this committee is to hope that you tell us the truth. But she was absolutely wrong in what she told me. So she told me it was allowed, and I knew it wasn't allowed. And I knew that the agency was considering what they were going to do in the near future. And I wanted to have input on that. That's why I asked her about it. So she suggested, she said, have your staff send my staff a letter. And in fact, she looked behind her, and her staff said, yeah, do that. And that's when, on March 22nd, we sent the letter outlining our concerns about prescription compounding, about compounding for office use, okay? We sent her that letter on March 22nd. And I thought it was a pretty responsible time frame that we did that. Asked for a response within 10 days. Well, on April the 11th, we didn't have any response. So we called her office. Why haven't you responded? Well, their response was to my office, FDA, HHS received the letter and will be sending a response as soon as possible. Well, okay. Yesterday, guidance was issued for this particular situation, for office use compounding. And in that guidance, it disallowed it. Now, I still haven't heard. I still haven't had a response. Still haven't had a response from the office yet on this particular issue that I wanted to have input. I'm a pharmacist, the only pharmacist in Congress. I felt like, and I feel like, I should have some input on this. Well, I didn't. After she testified in this committee, and again, I can't look into your hearts and tell you, yeah, you did this intentionally or you didn't. I just have to believe that when you take that oath, you're telling me the truth. She was wrong, and I knew she was wrong. And yet she said, let's follow up with staff. I agreed. And I did that. And yet still the guidance comes out before she responds to me. Now, what am I to think? I sit here and I listen to all of my colleagues talking about the fact that we're lacking communication, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's been my experience. Tell me why I shouldn't feel this way. Tell me why I shouldn't agree with everything that's been said here by my colleagues today, that communication is lacking, is suffering. My question is it intentional or unintentional? Because I know they're right. It is lacking. I have proof. I have personal proof, personal experience. And that's what I go on. The question is it intentional? Did she intentionally not respond to my letter until after the guidance was issued?
Congressman, I can assure you that was not intentional. And more in fact, I remember the back and forth. I remember the episode. I remember the conversation with you. And it was my understanding after the hearing that FDA was going to reach out to you to have a meeting. If that did not happen, that would be my fault. I should have followed up with them, but it was my understanding that they had already set up a meeting to discuss this with you.
Well, guess what? It didn't happen. And guess what? The guidance has already been issued.
And again,
now let me tell you what happens, okay? Let me tell you what happens. I go home, and I'm the congressman. And people ask my constituents, they want to know, why did y'all do this? Why did you do that? And I'm saying, well, I don't remember doing that. And then I go and I say, oh, it wasn't us. It was the agency. It was the agency that promulgated these rules, that passed these rules, that's having such a big impact. But I got to answer to it. Now, I got to answer to the pharmacists about this. I did my best to have input before it was issued, but I was denied that. What do you want me to tell them? You see what a quandary this puts me in?
Yes, sir.
Well, let me tell you, that is poor. And I don't appreciate it. Listen, I don't need any help in looking bad. I can do that all by myself. Tell me.
Congressman, you're right. I apologize for that. I'm more than happy to meet with you to discuss this further, but that was not intentional. After I remember the exchange, I had thought that FDA was going to follow up with you to have a conversation. If that did not happen, that's on me. I should have followed up with them. My apologies to you. I'm more than happy to continue having this conversation. But I can assure you that Secretary Burwell did not do that intentionally. If there is any fault here, it would be mine.
You know, I want to believe you. I really do. Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman, yield for just a second. Gentleman, yield.
I yield.
Okay.